Aloha kakayaka, my friends. This is Billy Wiggly coming at you live from the Ninth Island, Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing so far? You staying positive? Remember, here at Don't Get Mad, Get Skills, we're always living aloha, focusing on the positives, letting all those negatives slide on by. There's already too many of them, and people are always trying to push their negativity onto us. We won't accept it because we focus on the positive in order to maintain our constantly positive mental attitude so that we can easily achieve our definite major purpose in life. Angels, that's what we always want to be hearing. When you get the formula right in Excel, angels. When you get that promotion, angels. When you take that vacation, angels. Every time something good and positive happens, you want to be hearing angels. Well, maybe you want it to be something else. If you want it to be something else, you can change your sound. Maybe you want it to be drums, or maybe, maybe like a boom. Booming all the time, every time you do something good. But check this out. This is what we're going to talk about today. One of the things that we're going to talk about, the main thing we're going to talk about today, and that's sheet protection. And we're going to go over 5 different methods of sheet protection in Excel. When you're a member of the 7 Steps to Excel Success VIP community right here, 7 Steps to Excel Success VIP membership, where you can have 3 days for free, and then it's just $7 a month right there. $7 a month. Well, when you're a member of the 7 Steps to Excel Success VIP membership, you can ask questions of your instructor, like this student did. This student said, hey, I'm at work, and I've got this worksheet that I have to send out, kind of like a survey. And I need to collect some information, and it turns out that a lot of the people that I'm working with, they go through and they make errors or purposely edit certain areas, and then it messes everything up. Billy, is there any way that I can go ahead and make it so that I can protect my data so that, for example, check this out right here. So, for example, I don't have to write things like this. Look, this is one way that this particular individual used to protect their data in Excel. They actually put a little comment right there. That's pretty cool. Yeah? And it says, hey, this column. Oh, why am I looking over here? Right there? Is that the right place to be looking? Yeah. How about here? Ooh, that's definitely not the right place to be looking. Everything's turned around. I got all these monitors around me. But let's get back, squirrel. Focus. And what my student did is they put a comment right in here. It's not even a comment. It's just some notes in the cell. This column right here, they put an arrow. That's not my arrow. That's their arrow. Watch, see? That's their arrow. And they're saying this column contains a formula. Do not enter data below. So all of these cells in this column contain a formula. So in order to protect the integrity of those formulas, what this student of mine did is they put a note in there. Who reads instructions? Hardly anybody ever reads instructions. I mean, check you out. When was the last time you read the instructions to put together that chair you bought at IKEA? That's why all the chairs and all the furniture in your house is like not quite so straight. Maybe you didn't read the instructions. Angels are happy. Yeah, we don't read instructions either. So we're going to go over 5 different methods of sheet protection today. But first of all, before we get going, let's talk about our 6-item list for today. The same 6-item list that we cover every single day. Here at Don't Get Mad, Get Skills, we work off of 6 items each day. We don't get 6 things done. That's okay. We just rewrite the list at the end of the day, and that way we have our plan ready to go when we get up. And when we get up, the first thing we do is choose to be happy. And right after that, Make a plan. Most of us, we don't need to make a plan because yesterday, before we stopped our day, we ended our work day, we updated our 6-item list so that when we wake up today and we choose to be happy, it's even easier to be happy because we know that we have a plan to achieve our definite major purpose of the day. And most of all, don't get mad. Get yourself some skills. And what we're doing today is getting some self-protection skills, sheet protection skills, and password protection skills, and skills that allow users to edit a range as long as they have a password. Oh yeah. And most importantly, we are going to do it now. Yeah. All right. I get really excited because this is true. This is all good and beneficial for us. I know 56 years of life that I've spent so far on this planet, I can now say this is true. I've proven it. Now let's get on back to what we're going to learn today. And to do that, let's plan out our day. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about Excel protection methods. And we're going to have 5 methods. So we're doing a brainstorm right here. So we're going to have method 1, method 2, method 3. And I'm just using my shortcuts, Control C, Control V, and the like. Control V to paste, backspace, method 4, enter, Control V to paste, backspace, method 5, enter. And then this is what you call concept draw mind map. This is how I do all my planning, mind mapping it. And there's all kinds of tools. You don't have to use this particular software. Mind mapping. So we're going to talk about workbook protection. We're going to talk about read only. You probably already know that. We're talking about password protect the workbook. All right. Then we're going to say password protect the sheet, the worksheet. Because, you know, the worksheets are all inside of a workbook. So you protect the workbook so you can't open it. Or you can just make it so that you can open the book. You just can't edit any of the sheets in there. There's way more than 5 methods of protection. There's a lot. Whatever you can imagine, come up with, you can come up with all these different combinations. I'm just doing 5. And each one of these 5s, maybe you do it differently. And maybe you're taking a look and you go, hey, that's exactly the same thing that I do. Or you're going to say, hey, I didn't know about that method. So password protect with a worksheet. Then we're going to allow edit of specific cells. And then let's say allow edit of range with password. So we can make a whole range editable as long as you have a password. So there we have it. Now another shortcut, Control 9, boom, boom. It's good to use the shortcuts. Then let's go right ahead and organize our methods. We're going to talk about method 1, which is going to be the read-only method. That's pretty common. Then we're going to password protect the workbook. And then we're going to password protect the worksheet. Then we're going to go and say, hey, let's allow edit of specific cells. And then we're going to allow edit of a range with a password. Woohoo! Isn't that cool? Yay! Angels! Let's go ahead and finish our brainstorming. There we have it. And we can even make a presentation out of this if you really wanted to. We're going to talk about Excel protection methods. Method 1, we're going to make our workbook read only. Read only means that exactly what it means. You can read it only. You can't edit it. The moment that you try to make some changes in it, it won't let you. You may be able to type in it, make changes, but then when you go to save those changes, you can't save them. Excel is going to say, hey, this workbook is read only. If you want to save it, you got to save it with a different name. And that way we don't overwrite the data. Then we've got method 2, which is we're going to password protect the whole workbook. So make it so I should have made that method 1, but we can have it be method 2. Protect the whole workbook. You can't open the workbook at all unless you have password protection. You know what? Let's go ahead and change that around. Let's escape. I'm going to go right here to read only. Password protect workbook. Oh, there we go. Now we'll go back to our presentation. Excel protection methods. Method 1, method 2. Method 3, password protect the worksheet. You might have multiple worksheets inside of your workbook, but you only want to protect a specific sheet. Within that sheet, we can use method 4. We can allow edit of specific cells within that sheet. I mean, there's so many permissions that you give. And then method 5 is we're going to allow the edit of a range with a password. In this case, it's the range that has formulas in it. Anybody that wants to change the formulas can, as long as they have a password. All right. And that is going to be it for today. Plus a bonus at the end of this live stream. I'm going to tell you about Aloha Friday's live stream. So let's take a look right here at this worksheet. And it's part of a larger workbook. And it's an HR company. And they're collecting data from some of their clients. And like I said, we've got some formulas right inside of this column right over here. There's going to be some there. And then right inside this column, we notice that there are formulas right in there. This is the only protection that is currently available for this workbook. I mean, it's funny right now. And this person, student of mine, when I taught them self-protection, when they learned what you're about to learn, they laughed at this because we do whatever we can, right? I mean, they did whatever they could to protect their data. And this is one way, hopefully people will read that. Okay, so now we're going to see the technical way. So method number 1 is password protect the entire workbook. There's a couple of ways we can do it. We can, once you're inside of your Excel spreadsheet, you can always go to the review tab. Inside the review tab is where you're going to have your protect group right in here. And you can go ahead and protect sheets, you can protect your workbook, and then you can allow edit of ranges. We'll use all 3 of those. Let's say that we are right here in our worksheet and we decided we're going to protect the workbook. So you're in review, and then we go from review to the protect group, and in the protect group, there's a protect workbook tool. When you hover over, you'll notice that we get a tooltip right there. And it says keep others from making structural changes to your workbook, such as moving, deleting, or adding sheets. When we protect the workbook, there's different ways of protecting right in there. We're not going to cover all those today. So I can click protect workbook and say, hey, we can protect it with a password. Or we don't have to have a password. It can protect it, and a little warning comes up that says this workbook is protected. And here we can protect the structure if you want. And then sometimes people, they don't even know that there's no password. Now let's cancel out of that. We can also go to the file tab and go to our info, file, info. Here's where you're going to get a lot of information from your workbook. Take a look. So we've got this protect workbook option right there. Click right here on the drop down and let's go see what we got. You can say, hey, always open it read only right there, which means that anytime anybody opens up this workbook, it is read only and it can't be overwritten. This is one way to do read only. We're not doing read only right now. We're doing protect the workbook. So here we can protect the workbook structure, prevent unwanted changes to the structure of the workbook, such as adding sheets, moving around, and the like. I just want to protect the entire workbook so that we don't, yeah, it's the same one right here, protect structure. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't use that password 1, 2, 3, 4, and don't use the password. Oh, and also don't use the password incorrect. Like when you put in the wrong password, you get that error message that tells you that the password that you have entered is incorrect. That's a joke. All right. No, but it's true. It's true. It tells you the password you've entered is incorrect. So don't use the password incorrect. All right. So now here we go. Protect the workbook. And let's just do the password 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're protecting the structure of the workbook. We can also uncheck that and then just protect the entire workbook. So what I'm doing is I'm unchecking that. And I'm just going to say, oh, you have to check it. Never mind. We check the structure and then we press OK. And then we re-enter the password 1, 2, 3, 4. And we press OK. And there you have it. So now we can close this workbook. And then when I go right ahead to reopen this workbook, .company. Now Excel is going to, hey, it was supposed to ask me for a password. So let's go to review, protect workbook. Oh, we've protected the workbook structure. There you go. So if I want to move this sheet, see, you notice this? Smaller for us. You'll notice right here that if I want to move this sheet, I can click on it, but I can't move it. Can't move it anywhere. I can't change the actual structure of it. So let's say that I wanted to protect the workbook to keep it from being opened, period. Unprotect the workbook. The workbook is protect. Go to info and oh, here we go. Encrypt with password. See, I was looking right at it. You might have been looking and go, hey, Billy, it's not protect current workbook structure. Look up here. Encrypt with password. All right. So we're going to click encrypt with password and then say 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, this is the only place where you can protect the workbook from being open, period. If we go to protect and we say protect workbook, oh, I love doing live. I'm learning with you. No one knows everything there is to know about Excel. And when you meet somebody that tells you, I know everything there is to know about Excel, run, because right then you know they don't. Now, here we go. When we say protect workbook, that's going to protect the workbook structure. When we want to keep the actual workbook from being open at all, one way to go about it is to go to your info tab and go to protect workbook and say encrypt with password. That's way of doing it. Encrypt with password. So let's go ahead and give it a password. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we press OK, re-enter to confirm. Press OK. And now this workbook is protected. A password is required to open it. So we'll go back to open our workbook. And now Excel is saying, hey, what's the password? And the password is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, what's up, Susan? Susan, I just saw you right there. I'm not used to looking at the chat over here and the window over here and what I'm doing here. It's a lot going on, but I'm getting better at it. Susan, I hadn't heard from you in such a long time. I'm so happy. How's the pets? Got a dog yet? I don't have a dog right now because where I live, I can't have dogs, but I will as soon as I move to Hawaii in 2024. Definite major purpose. Move back home to the Aina. So here we go. We put in the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Susan was attended one of the seminars that I taught in Pasadena, California, like in 2011, 2012. She was there learning Excel. Right on, Susan. All right. I remember you. Never forget you. You're cool. Okay. And there we have it. Boom. So we go back to File, Info, Protect Workbook with a password. We can just click on Encrypt with Password and just take out the password right here. So now it's no longer protected. See what I did? To protect the workbook, to keep it from being opened at all, go to Info, go to your Backstage view, go to Info, and then Encrypt with Password. That made it so that you needed a password to open. Another way to get there is we can just save as, right? You got to press F12. Now remember this. F12, okay? That's the old school save as. Discard the changes. 4. Okay. Ooh, I thought I removed the protection for. Go right back over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And it's still protected. Let's go to File, Info. A password is required. Encrypt with password. Boom. Take out the password. Bam. Back over here. Save. Close it again. And now open it, and it should not ask us for a password. There we go. Yeah. So the way that I remove the password is go to File, Info, Protect Workbook, encrypt with password, give it a password. That'll protect it. Then come back in it, go to encrypt with password, take out the password, and that will unprotect it. Another way is to press the F12. F12 takes us to our old school save as dialog box. Right here, save as dialog box. And then when we go right down here and look at tools, you can go to general options. Tools, general options. And when we're in general options, here's where we can go ahead and give it a password to open, or we can give it a password to modify. So you can make it so that anybody can open it. They just can't modify it unless they have the password. And right here also, we can make it read only. Just check that right there, and that means that it'll be read only. We're not there yet. Okay. So let me go right back over here to File, Info, Protect the Workbook, Encrypt with Password. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now it's protected. Close. Save. You just have to save. You don't need to close it. And I do all the time, but I do because it's just a habit of mine to close Excel and then open it back up when I change any kind of protection settings. So there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press OK. And now I want to remove the protection. We can go to File, Info, Protect Workbook, Encrypted Password. You see how the icon has changed here? Got that little border around it. So we can just click right here and then take out the password, or we can just press F12. And when we press F12, we are right back over here in our old school save as dialog box. Go to Tools, General Options, and there you go. Take out the password. This is another way of doing the same thing. And then save. Same file. Good. All right, now if I was to close it, this is the only way we can really double check to make sure its password is gone. And then there's the company. All right, let's go back to our plan and check out our plans. And method 1, password protection. We are done. And now let's go ahead and let's learn about making it read only. All right, cool. Method number 2. So if I want to make this workbook read only, there's a couple ways. Actually, we can just, 2 ways. First, go to our File tab, Info, and then you've got Protect Workbook. By the way, what I'm doing here in Excel, you can also do it in all of the other Office apps, right? So, for example, if I was to open up PowerPoint and we got our 6-item list right here, I can go to File, Info, and we've got protection here. So a lot of the things that you do in one of the apps, programs, apps, they're called apps now. Excel program, it's not called Excel app. It's all very similar. So here I'm back in Excel, and I can say, hey, always open read only. And we go back, and then now when I go to save, let's see. Right now it's allowing me to save it, okay? Now I close it though. And when I open it back up again, there it is. It's saying, hey, it's read only now. To prevent accidental changes, the author has set this file as read only. If you click on edit anyways, that takes out the read only. But we just need to close this. I actually don't like the new way of letting. But now, you know, now I can go over here and I go to make a change. I just messed up a formula right there. Then I go to save, and now look at that. Hey, you can't save this spreadsheet because the file is read only. To keep your changes, you'll need to save the workbook with a new name or an application. Now when I press OK, now it's asking me to save it under a different name. But look what we did over here. Look over there. We have a formula in here, and we just screwed it up. Okay, so we want to be able to protect those kind of things. See, right here's the formula. I'm going to press Control tilde, that's this. Control plus tilde. And that's going to show me the formulas. That's the same as if we went over here to the formulas tab. There's a lot of learning going on. That's why we got to sit here and we got to watch every minute because there's learning, teaching going on and learning going on all the way. Show formulas right here. If I was to hover over show formulas, see that it's showing me that the shortcut is Control tilde. Look right there. Control tilde in the tool tip. All right. So now let's go back to read only. So we go to File, Info, Protect the Workbook as read only. We close it. Go to Save. Can't save. Now it's asking us save it as something else. Can't overwrite it, right? Let's go back to File, Info, Alt, F, I. Alt F5 is the way to get there. Watch this. Alt F5. Oops. Alt F5. Alt F5. There we are. All right. So protect the workbook. And here we can't take it out of read only from here. Take it out of read only. We go back to the save as dialog box. One way to get there, my favorite way to get there, is to go to this, press F12. And then once you are in the save as dialog box, click on the tools drop down, go to general options. And this is how you take it out of read only. You can put it into read only by going into the save as and checking read only, or going to the info tab and then make it read only. But to take it out of read only, we have to go into the save as dialog box that you see right here, save as dialog box, and then go to tools, click on the drop down, and then once we're in tools, we go to general options, and then you can take it out of read only and press OK. And then now save and write. Document is F12, tools. Sometimes you got to go through it a couple times, and there you go. See, we're all good. All good. All right. So now we know how to protect read only two different ways. Read only means that anybody can edit. It's just that when you go to save, it asks you to save it as something else. So we are done with method 2. Now let's go to method 3, which is password protect the worksheet. All right. So we can do it two different ways. Go back to File, go back to Info, Protect Workbook, and then we can protect the current sheet right there. Boom. Like that. We can click on Protect the Sheet, and then right here, look at all these different ways that we can protect the sheet. You can protect it with a password or without a password. I'm going to say without a password right now. And by default, it's set to allow users of this workbook to select locked cells and select unlocked cells. This is going to become pretty important to us later. Because by default, all cells are locked. It's just that the lock is not activated until we add a password. So here, when you protect a sheet by default, all you can do is just click on the locked cells and click on the unlocked cells. That's it. all this, everything else right here, can't do that. But if you want to allow people to format rows, format columns, sort, delete, any of these permissions, before you press OK to protect the sheet, you can just select what you allow people, just like that. But right now, you can only select box cells and box cells. And then we don't have to give it a password. We can just say OK, and the sheet is protected. You see? Now, when I try to edit a sheet, it says a cell or chart that you're trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make changes, unprotect the sheet. You might be requested to enter a password. So I press OK. It's still protected. You see how everything's grayed out? Okay. So now let's go and unprotect it. File, info, unprotect. Look at that. Now we got the option right here to unprotect. Okay. Protect workbook. Go unprotect. If there was a password, it would ask us password. We can go back to review, protect workbook, and give it a password 1, 2, 3, 4. Press OK. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press OK. Oh wait, that's the workbook. That's unprotected. 1, 2, 3, 4. OK. And that, you see how I just unprotected it this time? I just clicked protect workbook again, and I could unprotect it. Let me close it, and now we can open it back up. There's so many ways to protect and unprotect. All right. So now, password protect the sheet. We know that we can do it 2 ways. F12 to launch a save as dialog box. Then we can go to tools, general options, and password protect right here, the sheet. We can, oops, that was a workbook. We can protect the sheet. Click on protect sheet. Sorry, I just lost myself. Well, we can protect the sheet, and then we give it the permissions that we want. We can give it a password or no password. Here, we're going to give it a password. Just a minute ago, we gave it no password. Press OK. Enter the password again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press OK. And then now when I want to make a change to the sheet, I can't because I need to unprotect it. So I can go back to review, unprotect the sheet, or we can go back to file, info, and unprotect the sheet. This time it's going to ask for a password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Just like that. Okay. Now, okay. See, I messed up a formula. There we go. All right. So now the way that we're going to do it is done with protecting the worksheet. Now let's go to allow edit of. All right. So I want it to be where you can only edit what's in the pink area or the light purple. The light purple area. This is the only part of the worksheet that I want to remain editable. Pay close attention here. This is the only part of the workbook that I want to remain editable. You're not going to be able to edit any of this. You can't edit any of this. You can't edit any of this. You can't edit anything. The only thing you're going to be allowed to edit is what is right here in this area, the light purple area. So here's the step. I'm going to go ahead and select the range that I want to be editable. Remember, by default, all cells are locked. However, the lock is not going to be applied until you protect the sheet. So once again, by default, all the cells are locked. However, the lock is not activated until you actually turn it on, which is protect workbook or protect. It's kind of like we got a lock hanging on the back gate always, and it's not on until you actually close it. So I don't know if that was all the cells here. They're always locked until we activate lock. All right, by default. So let's go ahead and I select this entire range because they're locked. If I password protect all the locked cells are going to stay locked. So I'm going to unlock the cells that I want to remain editable. So we select all these cells and we can press Control 1. Whoops, I got my Control 1 to activate. Instead, we're going to right click and we're going to go to Format Cells. So right click, Format Cells, and then we're going to go to Protection. Okay, check it out. Step one more time. Select the range that you want to remain editable. Right click, go to Format Cells, and once you're right in here in Format Cells, click on Protection. And now look, they're locked by default. However, the lock is not activated until you press Protect Sheet, and then it's activated. So before we press Protect Sheet, we're going to unlock them, take the lock off. That means that when we protect the sheet, all the locked cells are going to be locked. The ones that are unlocked will remain editable. So we, step 1, select the range we want to remain editable. Step 2, go to Format Cells. Step 3, deselect locked. Now we press OK. Now we can go back and protect our sheet. So we can go to the Review tab, say Protect Sheet. And then we can give it a password if we want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, don't use that password. Press OK. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Press OK. There we have it. So now, saving the workbook. Now let's say that I want to change the title. Can't change the title. Okay. Can't change the title there. What about if I want to change this company name? Can't. What about one of these formulas that's in here? I can see the formula. Now that's something else. You can make it hidden if you don't want people to. That's a different stream, live stream. So here we go. We double click to change the formula. Can't. It's protected. All right. So now if I want to edit in here, anywhere in the ping, edit here, you can. I want to delete all this. Boom, I can. Because I'm allowed to edit. All right. So now let's say that I want to remove that protection. We can just select this range again. Right click. Ooh, can't format cells. I'll go to my Review tab. And then I'll just unprotect the sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And then now everything's back to edited. All right, cool. Now let's go back and check out our plan. And in our plan, we've got method 4. Done. Woohoo. All right. There's a lot of learning going on. And I want you all to come on back to this Excel spreadsheet, because the last thing we're going to do is we're going to allow edit of a range with a password. So right here, we made it so that anybody can edit that range. Well, what we're going to do now is we've got this range right here. And then we've got, we got this range right here. And then we've got this range right here. This one. This one. Now those ranges right there contain formulas. So what we want to do is we want to make it so that they're not editable. So you see, we can apply different types, different levels of protection all over the place. We could have made it so that you need a password to open the workbook. The whole structure of the book is protected. And then we can protect the sheet and make it so nothing is editable except this area. And then we can also make it, this last step that we're going to do is we're going to make this range editable as long as you have a password. So only certain people edit it. I mean, there's so many different ways. All right. So let's go right ahead and select where the formulas are. Just like that. We know that there's formulas in there because if I press Control tilde, we see that there's formulas right here, and we see that there's formulas right in there. All right, cool. So now what I can do is, another way that I can do it is, if the formulas were in separate places and I wanted them protected, you know, one quick way that I would do it is I would press Control F. That's Control plus F, and that launches the find and replace right here. Control F. So what I'm gonna do is, in the Control F, I mean, there's all kinds of things you can find. It's not just values. You can find formatting. You can find within a sheet. You can search. You can look at formulas. Whatever. There's all kinds of things that you can do besides just find a word or a value that you're looking for. So I'm just going to say, hey, find me the equals, because I know that in this spreadsheet, the only equals are in the formulas. So I'm going to say find them all. And then right here are all the formulas that it found for me. Oh, cool. So I'm going to press Control A to select all those formulas. And then I'm going to close. And then we see now that Excel selected. See that? It selected that range and it selected this range. Because that's where there's formulas. Isn't that cool? Yes. Hey, remember that this Friday, we're going to live stream this Friday. And we're going to have the developer of the ExcelFormulaBot. I believe we're going to do it at 11 a.m. Oh, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be streaming. The developer of the ExcelFormulaBot is going to be here. And also, we're going to test out in the ExcelFormulaBot how it kicks out VBA code for us. And Dan Strong from Excel VBA is Fun is going to be here. So y'all check it out. Look for the link in the description to Dan's website. And in the description, I've got some coupon code, Mr. Aloha, where you can save 10% on top of whatever discount they have for the ExcelFormulaBot. And then, of course, remember, you've got 7 Steps to Excel Success VIP membership. Try it for free for 3 days, $7 a month. Cancel anytime. No one ever cancels. I had to cancel somebody the other day because they've been with me for 2 years. I'm like, you never used it. So I canceled them. They rejoined again. They like, hey, we just want to be, I just like having it there. It's only $7. So I stopped worrying about it. Here we go. So now we're going to protect this range. So let's go right over here to our review tab where we have our protect group. And now notice this one. Allow edit of ranges. Habit number 2 of highly effective people begin with the end. And we use that in Excel a lot. So we're going to allow edit of ranges. We use the Control Find to find the equals. And in this case, it worked out perfectly and found us all the formulas. They all start out with an equal. Selected them all for us automatically, so we didn't have to worry about it. And now we're going to click on Allow Edit Ranges. Now here we see that we can allow edit ranges. And we're going to click on New. So you just read step by step. Allow users to edit ranges. Ranges unlocked by a password when sheet is protected. All right, see how it says that? When sheet is protected. So let's go ahead and click on New. And because we began with the end in mind and we already selected the ranges, it pre-selected them for us. Nice. And then let's just call this formulas range, just for fun. You can call it whatever you like. Right? And then let's give it a password. We're going to use that super secret password. Check this out. Permissions. This is a whole nother class. Permissions is where you can specify people that can edit. All right. So now we've got our password. Let me put it in again just to make sure I got the right password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then press OK. Enter it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why they ask us to enter it twice. And we press OK. And now I'm going to press Apply. Boom. And then none of this is going to work until we actually protect the sheet. So we take that final step of protecting the sheet right there. And we're not going to give it a password, just protecting. And there we go. Okay. Boom. So now check this out. You see, I don't have to close it and open it back up. I just have to press save. I have this habit of closing the workbook and opening it back up. That's just my habit. But I'm not doing it right now, just to prove to you that you can just save. And that's what I did. We just saved. And remember that we got our formulas right in here. And we got our formulas right in here. So we can do our editing where we're allowed. And I want to change this formula. I can't. Look. Oh, darn it. How about this one right here? Click, click. Can't. But let me put in the password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then now we can edit that formula. Woohoo. All right. Okay. So now let's go back to our mind map, and we got method 5. Well, we've learned a lot today. I know we've learned a lot because my brain feels hot. Look at that. Control 9. And that is our plan for today that we just completed. And there's a whole lot more ways of doing this in Excel. This is just a few. That's why you got to join the 7 Steps to Excel Success VIP membership. $7 a month, and you get access to almost all my content. The Basics Live class course where I teach basics live Monday through Friday, different weeks out of the month. Excel shortcuts, tips and tricks, 7 Steps to Excel Success, Excel pivot tables, Excel workshops, all the workshops. You're going to have tons of videos. Check out the testimonials, myexcel.club. And we got an app. You'll never miss out. You can always be learning. So we'll see y'all on Friday, my friends. Come on down on Friday. I'm going to be streaming at Pacific time. We're going to have David, the developer of the ExcelFormulaBot. And we're going to have Dan Strong from Excel VBA is fun. My friends, I want you to know that I love you. I really love you. And I want you to keep on learning. Get yourself some skills. Join the 7 Steps to Excel Success VIP community, just like everybody else that's been joining. They love it. Check out the reviews, everything. I love you. Most of all, keep on learning. And come on now. Don't get mad. Get yourself some skills. Aloha.